Hey guys, my name is Sarah and welcome to Move Movement Yoga. Today is going to be a nice short vinyasa flow. It's going to help you build a little bit of heat but in a fast amount of time. It's a great class that you can do at the start of the day or really any time throughout your day. We're going to be focusing also on the concept of balance, so not only in our physical body and on our mats, but also how we can learn to cultivate balance in our own lives. So with that said, you're going to be needing a block today for your practice. If you don't have a block, you can try without. It might add an additional challenge, but I would recommend, if you do have one, to grab it so that you can use it. Anyways, with that said, we will begin. So get your mat on the floor, all ready to go, and we will get started. So we'll just begin the class in a nice comfortable seat. So you can sit directly on your mat, or if you would like, you can also come onto your block if you feel that having your hips elevated is a little bit more comfortable. I just want you to take a moment just to fully arrive into your body. So allow yourself to settle in. Maybe take a moment just to roll your shoulders down and back. And if it feels comfortable and safe to do so, just begin to close your eyes. It's really essential at the start of every practice, regardless of the amount of time that you have, that you just take a moment just to center yourself and set your intention for your practice. So as you begin to settle down, just take a moment just to really notice the natural rhythm of your breath. Really noticing how the breath feels as it pulls in through the nose. And then how the breath feels as it gently releases out through the nose. Our practice today is going to be about cultivating a sense of balance. So we'll challenge ourselves through a few balancing postures. And while we learn how to find balance on the mat, we want to also see if we can bring that intention out into our everyday life. So I'm going to offer you a little mantra or an affirmation that you can set as the tone of your class. And the affirmation for today will be: I create ease and balance in all areas of my life. I create ease and balance in all areas of my life. I create ease and balance in all areas of my life. Just take a moment just to repeat this to yourself. See how it lands. And maybe you might find the affirmation a little bit challenging to connect to in this moment. Maybe in your life right now, it doesn't feel as easeful or as balanced as it could be. But the reason that we create these intentions is so that we can have something to work towards. Ultimately, our practice is just that, it's a practice. So at any point in time that you need this affirmation today, through your practice or even just your day as you get off the mat, just come back to it, take a moment. See if you can really pause and take a breath. And then let that be the guiding force of the actions that you take forward. So now with our affirmation, let's just anchor in a little bit more to find a little bit more grounding, just with a few rounds of deep breath. So just to begin, take a nice steady breath in through your nose. And then a cleansing exhale through your mouth. Now from here, just begin to inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3. Then begin to exhale through the nose for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just come back to your natural breath. Just notice if there's any tension through the face and the jaw, and just see if you can just soften all of your muscles. And then when you're ready, nice and slow, just begin to flutter the eyelids open, just coming back into your space. Hopefully that little breathing technique just allowed you to come back into your center, maybe find just a little bit of balance. So from here, we'll just come down into a tabletop position. If you see my birds flying around, just be mindful of that. I do generally let them out when I film, so they may be hanging around a little bit today. With that said, we'll come into our tabletop position and we'll start to bring a little bit of movement into our body. So making sure that your hands are stacked underneath your shoulders and that your hips are stacked over your knees. We're just going to shift our weight back and forth, just stretching a little bit into our wrists, grounding down through all of the tips of the fingers. Just feeling a nice stretch. And then from here, you're going to begin to take your hands slightly forward of your shoulder, wider than your mat. And we're going to take a few spinal waves. So I want you to begin by tucking your toes. Then start to draw your belly down towards the mat, shine your heart forward and take your eye gaze forward. I want you to find this nice curve through your spine and then keep this shape as you begin to draw your hips all the way towards your heels. When they arrive on your heels, then begin to drop the crown of your head towards the mat. Then as you take your next inhale, begin to push your weight forward once again, keeping your chin tucked as you puff the back of your heart up towards the ceiling. Then nice and slow, you're going to keep moving forward until you can slowly begin to lower your hip bones, your belly and your chest down into the mat. When you arrive, you want your hands by your chest, so if they're not there, just place them there. Begin to untuck your toes, root down through the tops of your feet, firm through your thighs, squeeze your elbows in, and then as you inhale, peel your heart off of the mat to come up into your cobra pose. And then as you exhale, lower. Slowly tuck your toes, push into your hands, find that curve once again through your spine, and then slow motion, push all the way back towards your heels. Only when you arrive do you drop the crown of your head down. Take your next inhale, wave the back of your heart up towards the ceiling, keep your chin tucked. Move nice and slow so that you can feel every articulation of your spine as you slowly lower your hip bones, your belly and your chest down to the mat. Push the tops of the feet into the mat, firm through your thighs, wrap your elbows in. And then as you inhale, peel your heart off of the mat. And then as you exhale, slowly release. Tuck the toes, lead with the hips. One more round, slow motion, push all the way back towards the heels. Drop the crown of your head. And then as you inhale, wave yourself forward. Chin is tucked. Feel every articulation of your spine as you slowly unfurrow forward, coming down onto the mat. Root down through the tops of the feet, firm through the thighs, wrap the elbows in, and then as you inhale, peel your heart off of the mat. And then as you exhale, slowly push down. This time when we come back, we're going to come into our downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, lift the hips up, finding our inverted V. So if you feel tight through the back of the legs, you can pedal through the feet, drawing one heel up towards the ceiling and then the other. Make sure that you're still grounding down through all 10 fingertips, pushing down into the base of your knuckles, making sure that your hands are nice and active. Just begin to wrap the eye of the elbows towards one another. Now, if you feel that you've got a slight curve through the back of your shoulders, I want you to bend your knees, push your chest slightly towards your big toes, and then see if you can begin to lift your hips up just a little bit higher. Take a nice, steady, even breath in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. So we're going to create a little bit more heat moving through our spinal waves just a little bit more. So from here, you'll take an inhale, rise high towards the balls of your feet. Draw energy up towards your pelvic floor. Then slow motion, you're going to begin to wave the back of your heart forward, shifting your weight forward until you come into a high plank. When you arrive, draw your lower belly in towards your spine, push the back of your heart up towards the ceiling, and then see if you can lift your hips up just a little bit higher. Then as you exhale, bend your knees nice and generously, and then slow motion, wave yourself back into your downward facing dog. Take a steady breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. We'll do 2 more like this. Inhale, rise high into the balls of the feet. Draw energy up towards the pelvic floor. Begin to wave the back of your heart up towards the ceiling. Keep your chin tucked until you arrive into your plank position, and then allow the crown of your head to move forward. Squeeze your inner thighs together, draw your navel in towards your spine. Push the back of your heart up towards the ceiling and lift your hips up just a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, slow motion, push all the way back towards your down dog. When you arrive, come back into the breath. Nice steady inhale through the nose. Steady exhale through the mouth. Last one, inhale, rise high towards the balls of the feet. Draw energy up towards your pelvic floor. Wave the back of your heart forward, keep your chin tucked. Slowly unfurrow forward into your high plank. Feel the charge of your legs and your core as you push against the earth. Reach your heels back and reach energy out through the crown of your head. Then nice and slow, bend your knees. Slowly push back, coming back into your downward facing dog. When you arrive, take a nice steady breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. As you inhale, you're going to begin to lift your right foot high into the air and you'll come high into the ball of your left foot. From here, draw your right knee in towards your chest and then to the best of your ability, step your foot between your thumbs at the top of the mat. Slow motion, drop your back knee down and then keep the back toes tucked. From here, begin to pull your feet towards one another and then as you inhale, begin to sweep your arms up, coming up into your low lunge. Imagine energy moving from your pelvic floor all the way up through the spine towards the crown of your head. Begin to spiral your pinky fingers in and then lift up just a little bit higher. Take a steady, even breath. Then on your next inhale, lengthen up a little bit higher and then as you exhale, lean your chest forward and begin to sweep your arms back. As you take your next inhale, ride the breath, draw your torso up. Exhale, slowly push back. Inhale, lengthen up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot, pick your back knee up, and then step back into your down dog. Take a nice steady breath in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. From here, take your left leg high, come high onto the ball of the right foot. Draw your left knee in towards your forehead as best you can, and then step your foot between your thumbs at the top of the mat. Slow motion, drop the back knee down. Keep the back toes tucked, pull the feet towards one another, and then as you inhale, ride your breath to draw yourself up. Lengthen out from the pelvic floor up towards the crown of the head, energy out through the fingertips. Spiral the pinky fingers in and then lift up a little bit higher. Then as you take your next breath, lean your chest forward, sweep your arms back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, draw the torso forward, sweep the arms back. Inhale to lift. Last one, exhale. Inhale to rise. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot, pick your back knee up, and then step back into your down dog. Take a nice steady breath in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. From here, rise high onto the balls of the feet, draw energy up towards the pelvic floor. Begin to wave the back of the heart up towards the ceiling as you unfurrow forward into your high plank. Charge through your legs, push against the earth, and really connect into your core. Nice, steady, even breath. Then for a count of 3, slowly lower your knees down into the mat, and coming into our tabletop position for a count of 3, 2, 1. When you land, sink your belly down towards the mat, shine your heart forward and take your eye gaze forward. Find that nice curve through your spine and then begin to draw your hips all the way towards your heels. Drop the crown of your head down. As you inhale, push the back of your heart up towards the ceiling, keep your chin tucked. Slowly unfurrow forward, lowering your hip bones, your belly, and your heart down onto the mat. Hands are by the chest, untuck the toes. Firm through your thighs, wrap your elbows in, and then as you inhale, peel your heart off of the mat. And then as you exhale, slowly lower. Tuck your toes, push down into your hands, and once again, we push back into our down dog. When you arrive, take a nice steady breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. From here, take your eye gaze forward and you can step, hop, walk towards your hands, however you want to arrive. We're coming into our forward fold, so your feet are either hip width or together, whatever feels best in your body. Bring a little bend to your knees. Your fingertips can be on the floor, grabbing onto either elbows, or maybe you even want to bring it onto your block. Whatever option you choose, bring that bend to the knees and drop the crown of your head down towards the earth. Let the gravity and the weight of your head draw you down to lengthen through your spine. Now just begin to shift your weight a little bit more into your toes without lifting your heels, just to encourage your hips to stack over your ankles. Take a nice deep breath into your chest. And then as you exhale, just settle a little deeper into what you feel. Then on your next breath, bend into the knees nice and generously. Begin to sweep your arms up. You're going to draw your torso all the way up. You'll begin to rise. Take your eye gaze up as your fingertips touch overhead. And then as you exhale, your hands towards your heart. Take a nice steady breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Just take a moment once again just to land, maybe close your eyes and feel the energy that's moving through your body at the moment. Now I'm just going to turn this way so that you can continue to see me. We're just going to do a little exercise now with our feet. I really love doing this. I teach this in all of my classes because it's a great way to learn how to activate the base. When we're thinking about balance, we obviously want our bases to be nice and strong to support the rest of our body. I also find that this is a really nice exercise to do if you need a little bit of grounding. So if you go outside barefoot into the dirt or into the sand or into the grass, whatever feels good, and connect in this way, it can help you feel really connected to the earth beneath you. So with that said, I'm going to break it down for you if you're not familiar with this little exercise. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Bring a bend to your knees and find a stance that's most comfortable. So whether you would like to bring the soles of your feet together about hip width, you find what is comfortable. Imagine energy drawing up from your pelvic floor all the way through the spine towards the crown of your head. Nice, steady, even breath. Now from here, to the best of your ability, you're going to pick up all of your toes off of the mat. Now from here, the next few steps, if you can't do them, just visualize that you can, because that's going to be the first step to getting you there. But try as best you can. So from here, with our toes lifted, we're going to spread our toes nice and wide. And then from here, we're going to lower the big toes down onto the mat. And then nice and slow, you're going to see if you can lower the pinky toe also down onto the mat, keeping the 3 middle toes lifted. Probably feels really weird and uncomfortable in some ways because your feet are definitely not used to stretching like this, but keep with it, keep with it. And then nice and slow, lower the 3 middle toes down onto the mat. Now I want you to focus on this activation through the soles of your feet and keep this grip. So it's almost like you've got fingertips and they're just rooting you down into the earth. Now just begin to shift your weight from side to side and just notice now just how much more stable you are through your foundation, so your feet. So when we work to do this in our feet, it translates up to the rest of our body. So I want you to be mindful of this as we move through our main sequence and we challenge our balance a little bit. Now with your toes active, just take a moment to close your eyes. Just visualize energy drawing up through the soles of your feet, drawing all the way up towards the crown of your head. And then visualize that energy drawing all the way from the crown of the head down through the spine and then back through the legs as it anchors back into the earth. As you visualize this circle of energy, come back to your affirmation. Take a moment just to say, whether in the mind or out loud, I create ease and balance in all areas of my life. Take a nice steady inhale through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. And then when you're ready, you can begin to open your eyes once again. And then we'll arrive at the top of the mat if you're not already there. And then I want you to bring your block onto the mat. So you want to have your block on the highest height, just in front of your feet, because we're going to be using this for our flow today. Find that activation through the feet. Toes are pointing forward, little bend of the knees. As you take an inhale, begin to sweep your arms up, take your eye gaze up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, begin to fold into your forward fold. You can bring your fingertips onto the block or onto the floor as you drop the crown of your head down towards the earth. As you take your next inhale, reach the crown of your head forward. Draw your tailbone back and find a flat back as you pull your belly in towards your spine. Then as you exhale, you're going to bring your hands on the edges of your block with your elbows sticking out, and then you're going to bring the block in front of your heart. So the biggest edge of the block is going to come in front of your heart. As you take your next breath, you begin to straighten up, and you're going to reach your block all the way over your head. Now from here, keep the grip through the left toes. Keep your eye gaze focused and your breath nice and steady. This will help with your balance. You're going to begin to draw your right knee in towards your chest. So lengthen up through the fingertips as you lift your block up. Stay here if you want to go further. Begin to extend your leg forward. Squeeze your inner thighs. See if you can lift your leg up just a little bit higher. Then from here, flex your foot and you're going to start to kick your foot towards the back of your mat. Allow your block to come forward. Find a counterbalance as you slow motion lower the ball of the back foot. Stay high on the ball of the back foot, little bend of the back knee, and keep bending into the front knee. Your arms come overhead. So in a crescent lunge with our block in our hands over our head. Take a moment just to land here, pull the feet towards one another, nice and steady with the breath. Then from here, bend your elbows and bring the block behind your head. I want you to squeeze your elbows in and then see if you can lengthen up through the heart. Now stay here. If you want to go a little further, begin to hover your back knee just above the mat, nice and strong through the legs. Steady breath. Slowly straighten the back leg up. Slowly take your block back over your head. From here, lean forward and you're going to bring your block back down onto the mat. From here, bring your left hand onto the block, begin to push off the back toes and float the back leg. Engage through the standing toes and then slowly begin to rotate your right arm up towards the ceiling, coming into your half moon. Active through the left toes, energy roots out through the right toes, the floating toes. Maybe you keep your eye gaze on the floor, maybe you can rotate up towards the ceiling. If you fall, it's completely fine. This is how we establish and begin to bring strength into our balancing postures. Nice and slow now, begin to bend into your front knee and you're going to land the ball, so you're going to land the whole back foot down onto the mat and it's going to be parallel to the short edge, so we land into our warrior two. When you arrive, just take a moment just to check your alignment, make sure your front heel is in line with your back arch. Take your eye gaze over your middle finger. Bend into the front knee just a little bit more. Bring your back hand onto your back thigh. Take your front palm and reach it overhead as you reverse your warrior. Then slowly come back through center into your warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Reach your left fingertips forward. Hinge at your hips. We're going to come into our triangle pose. You can bring your fingertips onto your ankle, your shin, maybe onto your toes, maybe onto the floor, maybe onto your block. See if you can take your eye gaze up towards your extended arm. Nice, steady, even breath. Rebend into the front knee, come back into your warrior two. Then from here, you're going to cartwheel your right arm, your back arm, down towards the top of the mat. You come onto the ball of the back foot and then you'll rotate your left arm up towards the ceiling. Nice, steady, even breath. Keep charging and firming through the back thigh, nice and strong. Now from here, you're going to step your front foot, your left foot to meet your back foot, and we're going to come into a side plank. Your feet can either be staggered or stacked. You can also bring the right knee down if you need a modification. You find the option that best supports your body. Keep lifting the left hip up, left arm up, nice and strong. Then slowly bring your left hand back down onto the mat. Find your plank position. Charge through the core, nice, steady, even breath. Then slowly bend the knees down onto the mat for a count of 3, 2, 1. Lower the belly, shine your heart forward, take your eye gaze forward. Slowly draw your hips all the way back towards your heels, drop the crown of your head. As you inhale, wave the back of your heart up towards the ceiling, slow motion. Allow yourself to come forward. Be cautious of your prop. If you need to move it, do so. Untuck your toes, hands above the chest. Firm through the thighs, wrap the elbows in, and then as you inhale, peel your heart off of the mat. And then as you exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, push into your hands, and then push back into your down dog. Take a nice steady breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Take your eye gaze forward, and once again you can step, hop, float towards the top of the mat, dropping the crown of your head down. As you take an inhale, bring your hands onto your shins, reach the crown of your head forward, tailbone back. And then as you exhale, once again, come into your forward fold. Take your next inhale, slowly begin to ride the breath. Allow yourself to come all the way up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands towards your heart. Take a nice breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just take a moment once again just to really land, feeling the energy of your body. And seeing if you can just slow things right down with your breath. And now when you're ready, we'll prepare to move to the other side. So bringing your block back onto the mat. Finding yourself at the top of the mat if you're not already there. Little bend of the knees. As you take your next inhale, begin to draw your arms up. Take your eye gaze up. As you exhale, hinge at your hips, come into a forward fold. Fingertips come down, drop the crown of your head. As you inhale, come into your flat back, drawing your hands onto your shins as you reach the crown of your head forward, tailbone back. And then as you exhale, slowly begin to fold. Nice and slow, bring your hands onto the edges of the block, elbows stick out, and then bring the biggest edge of the block in front of your heart. Then nice and slow, bend into the knees as you draw your arms all the way overhead as you rise. Grip into the mat with your right toes and then draw your left knee in towards your chest. Now stay here if this is a nice strong balance, otherwise extend your leg forward, point through the toes and then squeeze your inner thighs together. Then nice and slow, flex your foot, slowly sweep your leg behind towards the back of the mat as you extend your block forward. Move nice and slow with control and then bend into the front knee as you land the ball of the back foot. Little bend of the back knee and your block comes over your head. Take a cycle of breath just to land. Then bend your elbows and bring the block behind your head. Keep squeezing the elbows in and then puff your heart up slightly towards the ceiling. Stay here or begin to hover your back knee just above the mat, pulling the feet towards one another. Nice and slow, straighten the back leg, lift the block back up over your head. Lean your chest forward. Bring the block down onto the mat. Bring your right hand onto the block and then push off the left toes to lift the toes up. Then keep your eye gaze focused, your breath nice and steady. Begin to rotate your left hip open and take your left arm up towards the ceiling. Come into our half moon on the second side. Maybe you take your eye gaze up, maybe you don't. Notice the breath. Feel every single articulation of the body as it moves to adjust your balancing pose. Steady with the breath, slowly bend into the front knee. Land the back foot so it's parallel to the short edge of your mat. And then come into your warrior two. I'm just going to change sides so you can still see me. Take a moment to arrive. Then on your next breath, just begin to reverse your warrior, so back hand onto your back thigh, front arm overhead, fingertips go over, keep bending into the front knee. And then nice and slow, come back through center. From here, cartwheel your left hand, your back hand onto the top of the mat. Come onto the ball of the back foot, reach your right arm up. Eye gaze follows your right thumb. Really firm through the back thigh as you pull the feet towards one another. Nice, steady, even breath. Then nice and slow, we come onto the edge of the back foot and find our side plank on the second side. Feet are stacked or staggered, or maybe you find a modified version. Keep lifting the right hip up, right hand up. Then nice and slow, right hand comes down onto the mat. Square off into your plank pose. Nice, steady, even breath. Lower your knees down to the mat for a count of 3, 2, 1. Sink your belly down, shine your heart forward, and take your eye gaze forward. And then draw your hips all the way back towards your heels, drop the crown of your head. As you inhale, keep your chin tucked towards your chest, wave yourself forward. Slowly lower your belly, your chest, down onto the mat. If your block's in the way, just move it out. Untuck your toes, firm through your thighs, draw your elbows in, and then as you inhale, peel your heart off of the mat. And then exhale to release. Tuck your toes, push back into your downward facing dog. When you arrive in your down dog, take a nice steady breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Take your eye gaze forward between your hands, and once again you can step, hop, float towards your forward fold, drop the crown of your head. As you inhale, begin to sweep the arms up. Allow yourself to rise up, take your eye gaze up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands towards your heart. Take a nice, steady, even breath in through the nose. And then out through the mouth. Once again, just take a moment just to land back in your body, noticing the energy as it's moving through. See if you can find that gripping of the toes just to stabilize and find that balance throughout your body once again. Now from here, we're just going to move into a little standing exercise. It's going to challenge our balance a little bit more, also working the left and right brain. I'm going to break it down as best I can, so follow along with me. When you're ready, begin to step your right foot behind you and at a diagonal. So you want to step it towards the back left corner of your mat. Take your right arm up towards the ceiling and grab onto your wrist, and then lean to the left side as you bend into your front knee. Feel a stretch through the side body. Then from here, nice and slow, begin to sweep your chest forward as you reach your arms back, but keep your collarbones lifted and your eye gaze forward. Then nice and slow, riding the breath, lift up, and you're going to place the sole of your foot onto your leg, coming into your tree pose as you take your arms up. Try not to place the foot with your leg, with your hand. Just use the strength of your leg just to place your foot onto your leg. Nice and steady with the breath, eye gaze is focused. Then we'll take it to the other side. So right foot comes down, step your left foot back, grab onto your left wrist and lean to the right. Slowly begin to lean forward as you sweep your arms back. Keep your collarbones lifted, take your eye gaze forward. And then nice and slow, plant the sole of your foot as you come up into your tree pose. Take a moment just to land. Slowly bring the left foot down, take it to the other side, right foot crosses back, reach onto the right wrist, lean to the left. Draw your chest forward. Keep your collarbones lifted as you extend energy out through your fingertips. Slowly begin to rise. Find your tree pose. Nice and slow, right foot comes down. Step the left foot back. Grab onto the left wrist, lean to the right. Draw your chest forward, extend your fingertips back, collarbones are lifted. Nice and steady, come up into your tree pose once again. Extend energy out through the fingertips, grow a little bit more. Find that ease and balance through your body. Then nice and slow, plant the sole of the left foot down, bring your hands towards your heart. Take a nice steady breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Take a moment once again just to close your eyes and just notice how the energy feels once again moving through your body. See if you can really arrive into the sensations that you notice. Simply just witnessing them, giving them space to express. So from here, nice and slow, we're just going to begin to come down into our seat. So you can find once again what's most comfortable. I'm going to sit onto my block. You might want to come just straight down onto your mat. Take a moment to bring your hands onto your knees with your palms facing down. So hands facing down, palms facing down, is the intention of grounding. So we're working with that intention to find balance. To find balance, we must be grounded. So bring your hands facing down. Close your eyes once again. Come back into the breath. And just begin to settle here. See if you can really soften through your face and your jaw. Just noticing if you're holding on to any tension throughout the body. Draw a nice, deep, steady breath in through your nose, pulling it all the way down towards your belly. And then as you exhale, feel the breath release from the belly, draw all the way up through the chest, and then gently out through the nose. Take a few rounds of deep breath. Now we'll take a moment once again just to anchor in our affirmation, our intention for this class. So it's so important to recognize why it is that we show up on the mat. So the theme and the intention for this class is to find that balance. So you may have noticed when you were moving through the sequence today that you lost balance at points in time. Maybe you found it a little bit challenging, or maybe you found a lot of ease. What's most important is not whether or not you were balanced or not, but how you responded to losing any sense of balance that you had. Our life tends to be quite adventurous and turbulent at times, but really we want to learn to find ways that we can come back to our center regardless of what is thrown our way. So with that in mind, let's come back to our affirmation. Take a moment once again just to really settle, and then just silently repeat to yourself, I create ease and balance in all areas of my life. I create ease and balance in all areas of my life. I create ease and balance in all areas of my life. Just allow those words to really ripple and imprint into your body. And then just begin to gently bring one hand onto your heart and one hand onto your belly. Take a moment just to feel into the energy of your hands, feeling the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe, and just the beating of your heart. And we'll close the class with one last breath cycle together. So just begin to take a nice, deep, steady breath in through your nose, and then a cleansing breath out through your mouth. You can slowly begin to release your hands and gently open your eyes. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here and taking this class with me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.